Good day. This is Donovan Joint, and this is Demystifying God. Once again, a place that we try and cut through the mysticisms or the lies about God that the devil tells, so that we have a wrong picture of God and a wrong understanding of what He is doing. So, there's a very important topic involving left and right. We've always had a two-party system in the States and most places in the world, and it's either Democrat or Republican. But things have gotten so bad that the left and right have got on a segue. They've totally separated, and the left was promoting all sorts of woke, godless kind of ideologies, and I sort of equate them with being an overt, outright wolf, playing. And the right, many had hoped would come up and correct a lot of the course of what was happening with the left. But what we're seeing is the right is doing equally bad things to the left. And there's actually a major fracture within the right, where 80% of the people are moving towards an anti-Zionist right kind of view. So everything is entirely fractured, and these people are so far polarized that there's no longer a discussion table in the middle where people are willing to have tough discussions about tough things and arriving at solutions for society. There's just a total separation in these two ideologies. And I see the right as being wolves too, but in sheep's clothing. So they dress up in proclaimed righteous deeds to put an end to all the leftist things that are happening over there. And if you are or were a Democrat and have moved to be conservative, you're said to have been red pilled. If you're in the Democratic Party, you're considered to be blue pilled. So you've got your blue and red pill. But lately, just in this last month or two, there's been a new term bandied about, and it says those that are black pilled. So this is also a slur or a spin that people on the right that are still Judeo-Christian, pro-Zionist, pro-Israel, they have created this term called black pill. So the people that are now rejecting the right and they're being accused of causing fracturing in the right in terms of politics are being labeled as black pill, obviously black not being a color that is associated with righteousness as opposed to white. So it is something to make those people look as if they are on the wrong side of things. So there's blue pill, red pill, black pill, but I'm going to suggest that there is something called a white pill, or a concept called the white pill. And if we think of Jesus said in the Bible, it says that in the last days there would be a group of people that do not love their lives unto death, that have the same self-sacrificial intent of the heart as Jesus did at the cross. Not to go and overthrow or join a side of power to overthrow another in order to get a victory, because that's not going to result in an outcome of joy and peace. But that same concept where when you recognize the left has no solution, and if they come into power with all their agenda, their woke agendas, and peddling pornographic material into kids' schools and books, and having the trans cross-dressing reading for kids and that type of thing, we know that, if it goes left, it's a problem. But the right at the same time is getting more and more authoritarian. They're not providing solutions. They've sided with another state out of harmony with the way reality works, and they're not looking after their people, and they are going to war with other countries, Venezuela, claiming to have reasons for these things. But the right is now also not releasing the Epstein files, I think, is probably the biggest one. There are a bunch of people that have been terribly harmed by this whole ring of people that are misusing and bringing children in as sex slaves and peddling them to high ups. And these people have been compromised, and they won't release the documents in full because it would reveal too many of these big people. And obviously, I think then everything would come tumbling down. The house of cards would come tumbling down. So they go to war instead and do distractions, so they don't actually get to releasing the full file. So the right is terrible. Like I said, wolf in sheep's clothing, and then the left is terrible. Either way, there's no good solution, and the people should realize this. And then people out of fear say, well, I'm not going left, so therefore I'm right, and they'll defend it dogmatically at all costs without actually having a look at the truth and the data and saying, well, this is what the right is doing good and this is what the right is doing bad, but the bad is really bad. We can't go that way. Same with the left. It leaves one option: to have that same spirit that Christ did, that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did, where we look at the situation and we realize there's no solution. There's no point siding with anything left or right, or in between, in fact, I mean, especially since it's a two-party system. But what we can do is share truth as we understand it to be with other people who are willing to listen, but to do so in a spirit of love and peace, leaving people entirely free. Because you cannot win people to your point of view or the thing that you're trying to share, while at the same time offending them, using indignance, laughing face emojis to discredit. This is absolutely something that is not going to serve any good purpose. So those that are self-sacrificial and love God, realize the truth, will share truth as they understand it in a spirit of love and peace, leaving people entirely free. And we will be there to minister as Jesus did to the people that are caught up in this corrupted, broken system, whether it be psychologically, emotionally, physically, with food or health. These are the things that we can do. And we realize that every aspect of those things within the government's right and left is entirely corrupted. Medical corrupted. So there's big pharma, there's big food. All these things have come out, and these are the things that are destroying the human constitution in many different ways. So very important. I think it's a time for people to be white-pilled, come to understand God's true plan, and that self-sacrifice, love, mercy, grace, all of these things are the things that we can submit, and there will be evidence in the grander court case, which will live in writings and the minds of many for trillions and trillions of years, once Jesus comes with his gift to give, which is healing of humanity and fixing our hardware, which has been so corrupted. And then we'll be able to function. If we love good and hate bad, we'll be able to function more perfectly without those corrupted bodies. So very important. There's what? Blue pill, red pill. There's the black pill section at the moment. And I'm saying we should be pushing this agenda for a white pill group of people that are based on reality and love God and love his ways. If you like this material, please share it with as many as possible. Please comment in the bottom lines. The algorithms pick up on those type of things, and there's no way that this message will get shared. If you do like it and it's upon your conscience, share it as much as you can. Thank you. I look forward to speaking to you again.